Welcome to the Three Tomatoes Virtual Renewal Summit. This is our fourth summit, but the first virtual one. The event is co-hosted by Anne Akers and Cheryl Benton. You'll be inspired, informed, and motivated by our fabulous lineup of speakers and panelists. Here's to thriving in midlife and beyond. But first, a word from our sponsor. I'm Cheryl Benton. I'm the founder and publisher on the Three Tomatoes, and we're always on the lookout for ways to slow down aging. I'm here with Deborah Farkas. She's the founder and president of Living Well Inside and Outside, and she's going to tell us about a treatment that will give us a more youthful appearance. So, Deborah, tell us about our skin.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. Cheryl, did you know that every minute your skin sheds between 30 and 40,000 dead skin cells? Now, that can leave your skin looking dry and dull, contribute to blemishes, as well as make you look older.
Well, nobody wants to look older, that's for sure. And that's a pretty astounding number, actually. I can't believe all those skin cells are dying every single day. But you have a product, the Lumi Spa, that can really help with this. So tell us about it.
Absolutely. The Lumi Spa, #1 skincare cleansing device worldwide. It is my favorite tool to use because a 2-minute treatment removes your makeup, helps regenerate collagen, which helps with firmer skin. It offers deep tissue stimulation. It minimizes pore size and eliminates fine lines and wrinkles. So just 2 minutes and you're done. And Cheryl, the Lumi Spa you can use it in the shower, so it saves you time.
Wow. Well, that's a lot of benefits, and I love the time-saving one too. And let me just say, you are really a walking endorsement for this product because everyone always comments about your beautiful, glowing skin. And no wonder Lumi Spa has won all of these beauty awards and why it's really #1 in its category. So tell us, how do people get in touch with you and find out more about Lumi Spa?
Absolutely. So to find out more about the Lumi Spa, just go to my website, livingwellinsideandoutside.com. Again, livingwellinsideandoutside.com. Drop me a line, send me a text, and let's connect. And let me help you get a Lumi Spa that is right for your skin type.
Well, that is fabulous. And thank you so much. And here's to looking younger.
Absolutely.
I'm Anne Akers, your co-host for this year's Renewal Summit and moderator for today's panel. So although the Three Tomatoes Renewal Summit is in its fourth year, this is the first year that we are coming to you in a virtual format nationwide. So on behalf of Cheryl Benton, founder of the Three Tomatoes, and myself, we welcome you all from New York to Los Angeles, Chicago to Dallas, Miami to New Orleans. And so today's panel is Catching the Glow, Healthy Bodies, Radiant Beauty, and Positive Spirits. So when you think of the word glow, what comes to mind? Perhaps it's the glow of a pregnant woman. Perhaps it's a proud parent when his child graduates, marries, or passes through one of life's moments. Or think of the image of a friend you know who just radiates light. So where does this inner and outer glow come from? We're going to explore this topic today with our dream team and our top panel of experts who I'm going to introduce to you one by one. So first we have Dr. Daryl Gioffre, celebrity nutritionist, board-certified chiropractor, and author of Get Your Acid, 7 Steps to Lose Weight, Fight Inflammation, and Claim Your Health and Energy. Darrell is a raw food chef a Reiki master, and ultra marathoner. So Dr. Darrell really walks the walk, and he is the creator of the Alchemind Cleanse, which has helped thousands lead happy, healthier lives. Dr. Gioffre also sits on the Cancer Schmancer, I want to pronounce that correctly, Cancer Schmancer Medical Health and Wellness Advisory Board, and was a featured speaker at Fran Drescher's 2019 LA Health Summit. He's been featured in People magazine, several TV documentaries, and he's a frequent guest on with his client, Kelly Ripa, on Live with Kelly and Ryan. So here's a little fun fact. Dr. G is a super athlete and was a star player for the U.S. under 20 national soccer team. Next, we have the beautiful Nancy Northrop, who is an international beauty guru, veteran of the beauty industry, and an entrepreneur. So Nancy is well known for her first company, specializing in medical devices for orthopedic and neurological rehabilitation. So this experience led to her development of one of the first non-invasive electromedical products for facial rejuvenation, truly catching the glow. And last, and certainly not least, so after Nancy spent many years in Paris developing a range of clinical skincare formulations that have been distributed worldwide. In this way, Nancy has married science and beauty to form her philosophy of a clinically based inside-out approach to beauty. So today, through her Manhattan-based company, Nancy continues to help women of all ages look and feel their best. And a little fun fact about Nancy, in the 5th grade, we can remember back that far, Nancy was a runner-up in a Catholic school spelling bee, and she was eliminated for misspelling the word complexion. So, oh, if they could only see her now. And lastly, and certainly not least, we have the world-renowned intuitive energy healer, the world-renowned energy healer, intuitive life coach, and author of Life Shift, Let Go, and Live Your Dreams. Aleta St. James is a living testimony to the power of releasing self-doubt and creating love, light, and miracles in your life. So Aleta, giving birth to twins at age 57, starred in the production of hair throughout Europe, traveled the world to study in the temples of spiritual masters in southern India, central Brazil, the jungles of Peru, and the heights of Machu Picchu. Aleta has rightfully been dubbed the Indiana Jones of the soul. So if that weren't enough, a little fun fact about Aleta. Aleta St. James' brother is Curtis Sliwa, founder of New York's Guardian Angels. So with that, let's go. And we're going to start with Dr. Gioffre. So Dr. Darrell, may I call you Dr. Darrell?
Of course, Anne. Thank you so much.
Okay. So Dr. Darrell, so as a former sugar addict turned health machine, you know firsthand what it takes to overcome adversity and health challenges. So as an athlete and a former member of the U.S. national soccer team, what inspired you to found Alchemind and the Alchemind diet?
Oh, thank you so much, Anne. And first and foremost, thank you for putting this amazing summit together in the way that we have to do it. We just really appreciate that. It's so important to get this information out. Yeah, sugar was a huge issue for me, ever since I was a child. And, when you're younger, you can get away with these things, because your body's a little different. You heal faster. Your metabolism is faster. And, I don't blame my parents for the fact that I was addicted to sugar as a young child. I mean, sugar snuck its way into our diets in every which way. And literally, we could blame the sugar industry for that. Back in the 60s, they paid off 3 Harvard scientists to manipulate the study. So now you weren't putting fat in because they demonized fat. We all know now that fat is good for us, but they came into the rescue because nothing tasted good. So then sugar showed up in all the different types of food. So I ate tons of sugar. When I was younger, I was able to get through it, but I had ear infections, I had headaches. But it was interesting because I became a chiropractor in my early 20s, and I still had this sugar addiction. I was helping lots of people, telling them not to eat sugar, and then I would go back in my room and boom, there's a candy bar. So I literally had to become a health investigator to find out why, go farther upstream. Why was my body craving sugar? Why wasn't willpower enough? And it's not enough. So I started studying the patients in my office, and the 5% of patients that had that glow, like you were talking about, had energy and skin. And I just started modeling them. And I came to realize that they were eating a plant-based diet high in these alkaline foods. And as I started eating more of those, it's amazing. Within a few weeks, my cravings were gone. And, as I was getting older, I was gaining more weight because it caught up to my body. And I dropped about 42 pounds in 4 months. And literally here we are now, many, many years later. It was a game changer for me.
Wow. So that's good news for everybody. And if you go into a room of half a dozen people, everyone is going to have a different reason they crave sugar. Can you talk to us a little bit about this and the different personality types and what drives that addiction?
Yeah, the great question. There's two things we have to look at because there's a psychology component to this, and then there's a strategy. There's a biochemical deficiency happening in your body. So when you look at things like sugar addiction, sugar cravings, I always start with the why, because literally 80% of our success in anything that we do, whether it's your health, your business, it's based on psychology. So I really try to create this compelling reason, or not me. I have my clients and my patients come up with this compelling purpose, this reason why they want to reach a specific goal, a certain outcome. So it's not just about losing weight. Why do you want to lose weight? What is that going to change in your life? How is that going to change your energy levels? Because energy equals health in one word. So once they have that specific outcome, they know what they want, they have a powerful reason behind why they want to do what they want to do, then you come up with the map. The map is the massive action plan. That's like the strategy. That's the how. And that's 20% of the success. But you got to nail it down. So from a biochemical standpoint, one of the biggest things I see with most, if not all my clients, including me, is a mineral deficiency. The number one mineral, I would say probably the biggest deficiency in the Western Hemisphere, is magnesium. And we just don't get the amount that we would get 100 years ago, 200 years ago, because it's just not in the soil anymore. So we want to get more forms of magnesium. As you do that, you're going to find that the cravings are going to go away fast. And you want to do this in a diet variation sort of way. So you want to get lots of dark green leafy vegetables, lots of healthy sea salt like Himalayan pink salt or Redmond real salt or Celtic gray sea salt, magnesium lotions, Epsom salt baths. So when you do that variety, it gets the body from a lot of different standpoints. And it's really amazing how it helps the cravings.
Yes. So that's wonderful news. And I love this idea that energy meets health. And I'm sure all of us are making some mental notes about how we can use your program, not only to improve our energy levels, but digestive problems, poor sleep patterns, weight, and all of the things that are keeping us from looking and feeling our best. So, you have dealt with a lot of people from the psychological point of view. So what do you do when there's that psychological wall? And, how do you get people to meet you where they are to really adjust some of these major changes into their life?
Yeah, I mean, for years I tried to beat my sugar addiction by deprivation. I'm going to tell you, it just doesn't work. There are some people that can do it that way, but what I'm going to tell you, Anne, is that it's not addressing the underlying cause of why these things happen in the first place. So, one of the things I love about, you mentioned Kelly Ripa before, is that she talks about the 80-20 principle where, you just want to start to add these healthy foods. And that's what I did with her. You want to add more healthy foods into the diet. For some people, it might be one at a time. For other people, maybe it's more. But my point is that you have to meet each person where they're at, because we're all at different stages in our lives, and even our own personal lives. Sometimes we're doing better. Sometimes we're doing worse. I mean, look at the current situation, the landscape of this pandemic. One of the things I'm seeing is so many people have gone into this stressful way of eating. So what I'm trying to get my clients to do is just say, add something positive today. Add one healthy food and make sure you do it 100%. Be consistent with it. And then once you've mastered that, then you go to the next. You know, it could be a salad, it could be a green juice, it could be an avocado. But again, by going with that mindset of adding, not taking away, it's better for psychology because it's not that deprivation approach. And usually it helps people get there. It might take a little bit longer, but I'm going to tell you, they will last that way. It's a much better way as far as sustainability goes.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think we can all relate to this idea that we don't relate to a deprivation psychology, and also to this idea of 80-20. None of us are perfect, but if we can go about this approach incrementally and, you know, reach our goals, you know, one step at a time, and give ourselves a little bit of break when we're not perfect, I think, as you say, you're meeting people where they are, which we really appreciate. So your approach to a healthier lifestyle is really from what I hear you saying, is a holistic one. We're talking about body, mind, spirit, and I think this is based in functional medicine. So how do you go about uncovering the root cause of people's illnesses, and what diagnostic tests do you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, we always start with you know, diet, by just trying to get the diet to become healthier. But you know, we also don't want to be throwing darts at a dartboard if we start adding supplements in, which is important. I mentioned 100 years ago, you know, we had a lot more nutrition in the foods that we ate, but now it's just not possible. There are supplements that we have to actually take on a daily basis. Again, less is more, but what does your body need? So there's a saying I have, which is what you inspect, you respect. So one of the things that we do in our office is a test called live blood cell testing, where we take a drop of blood from the fingertip and we put it under a microscope and we magnify it at 25,000 times. And it's different than like conventional blood testing, which is important because that's looking at the quantity of blood. You know, this is your vitamin D levels. This is your how many white blood cells you have. So you need to know that information. But when you look at the live blood cell testing, you're looking at 120 days worth of deficiency, toxicities. You're looking at things like inflammation, leaky gut. You can see hormonal imbalances. And it's incredible because we can get a baseline for what's going on with that specific person. And then we can create a protocol based on what their own body, their unique bio-individuality needs. And then what we do is we get them on the program. We come back and we retest about 4 months later, because the red blood cells roll over every 120 days. So we can see the before and after. And it's so cool because they come in, they're feeling better already. I mean, they probably lost some toxic weight. Their energy's better. So the reality is do we even need the test to show that they're getting better? No, but when we look at the test, it's incredible to see such powerful changes. We also do a GI map test, which looks at the entire health of their microbiome. So again, we're really getting specific as to what that person needs based on their unique deficiencies and maybe the toxins that are in the body. And once we start to get that body healthier from giving it what it truly needs, the body heals itself. It's innately intelligent, and it's incredible how the body knows what to do with that.
That is really a very clear explanation of process. And I think for those of us who are goal-oriented, those of us who are visual, there is nothing more exciting than that initial test that you do, and I've taken that test myself, where you see how your interior blood cells and everything is functioning. So you actually get a before and after picture. And you know, when we participate in your program and we do it with a certain amount of intention and discipline, and you get that result at the end, it really is an aha moment. So, you know, thank you for explaining the diagnostic process that's involved. So, you've helped thousands, really, literally thousands of people develop a healthier, more vibrant lifestyle. And along the way, your advice has attracted many celebrities. I guess that's why we call you the celebrity nutritionist. So Kelly Ripa, who we love, Petra Nemkova, Ryan Seacrest, Mario Lopez. So each of these celebrities radiate good health, but even celebrities get sick, particularly in the age of COVID. So in the current circumstance we're dealing with, what do you recommend as a daily routine to help us build a stronger immune system?
Yeah, we see the celebrities on the camera and they look great, but they're human beings just like us. They feel the same stress, maybe even more based on their schedules, because I get to know them on a personal level and I see their schedules and how hard they run that engine. But it's so important. And when you increase one thing in your life, you have to increase other things. So if there's more demand, if there's more stress, like right now, again, with the pandemic, we have to acknowledge that we are all subjected to this chronic level of physical, emotional, and even chemical stresses based on the current situation. So again, it's important that we have to meet that demand with what we're doing from a lifestyle standpoint. We have to move our body. Motion is emotion. We got to exercise even with the quarantine. But again, it's not just about adding. We got to address the sugar. The sugar is a huge thing. But I love to add more things like dark green leafy vegetables, healthy fats. We got to keep the protein at a moderate level. And again, keeping those crappy carbohydrates, as I call them, on a lower base. And, from a supplemental standpoint, the immune system needs more attention right now. So doing like a liposomal vitamin C is very important. One of my favorite ones is black seed oil. Literally, it's 3 times more anti-inflammatory than turmeric. It's 1,000 times more active of an antioxidant than vitamin E, elderberry, and echinacea. So that's something that I love taking. I recommend to all my clients. Green juice is powerful. Minerals is powerful. And a probiotic. We have to understand that 80% of our immune system lives in the gut, the microbiome. So we have to nourish the microbiome with the things that it loves, and that's healthy bacteria. I mean, the reality is we have more bacteria in our body than we do healthy cells. So as long as we increase the health of our internal terrain, we don't have to worry so much about these external factors, whether it's the coronavirus, influenza, cold, right? Those are just bugs. Don't get me wrong, it's a nasty virus, but if we can keep this internal terrain strong, healthy, full of energy, then we tip that scale in our favor, and we're going to basically make ourselves a lot more resistant to the things that we're facing out there in this world today.
So Darrell, that is great advice. And I think we all need to know what it is that is within our power to control against this global virus. So those are some very specific tips. And I just want to remind all of our listeners and our viewers that this information will be available on an ongoing basis on the Three Tomatoes website. And we will have a graphic at the end with information as to how you can contact Darrell and get this plan in a specific written plan. So one last question, because you are somebody that really walks the walk and talks the talk. So can you walk us through a day with Daryl Gioffre and your wife and children?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do.
I would love to. Absolutely. We wake up. I get up early. I get up around 5:30, 6 o'clock. With the sun. And the first thing we do as a family is we have a green juice. I think it's the most powerful way to start your day. You alkalize, you energize your body, your blood. It gets your cells moving. It's all about oxygenation. So that's how we start. Even the little ones. My daughter's 3. My son just turned 6 this past Monday. I mean, literally this morning he drank 2 green juices before he even got out of bed in his baba. So, I mean, it's amazing to see the kids like that. And it's just happy for us as parents to see that. And then I like to just grab my rebounder, which is a mini trampoline. And I just do a gentle bounce for lymphatic drainage. I do that for about 10 to 12 minutes. Again, motion is emotion. You got to move that body. The first thing is not to put bad stuff into your body, whether it's something from like a paper or news, or I'm not saying don't be informed. You got to be informed. But my point is I want to start my day energizing my body, my soul. So I bounce on that rebounder. It gets my body going, energizes me, and it gets me excited. And while I'm doing that, and I do a power breath. I breathe in for 4 seconds. I exhale for 8. I do that 20 times. That stimulates my parasympathetic nerve system, which is going to counter the stress that's going to come throughout the day, which is going to basically increase your fight or flight response. I love intermittent fasting. So most of the time I won't eat breakfast. If I do, it's an avocado. It's a healthy smoothie with lots of greens, lots of fats. I don't really put fruit in it, but if you do, just limit it to 1 a day. But again, I'll not do breakfast. I'll skip that and I'll wait till lunch, because intermittent fasting is a very powerful way to talk about beauty. It increases your microbiome, which comes out through the skin, right? Healthy gut, healthy skin. It increases stem cells. There's so many things, autophagy. So I'll break the fast around 12 or 1 o'clock. Many times I'll do a workout right before that because that will put you in your best fat burning state. I'll have a salad, I'll have a raw green soup or a regular soup. And then I have some cheats in between as far as cheating the fast. It'll be a glass of water with a tablespoon of chia seeds, a slice of lemon, things like that, which you can satiate your hunger if you're hungry. And then we'll have dinner as a family. Again, it'll be a very healthy meal, plant-based and lots of greens, lots of fats, moderate protein. I will eat wild-caught salmon a couple times a month. And then at nighttime, I have some minerals. I'll do a detox protocol like an Epsom salts bath, or I'll go on the chi machine, which is good for lymphatic drainage. Again, I just put healthy foods into my body. I keep my body moving. I try to nourish my soul and my mind with positive things. And I hopefully sleep very well because of that.
Well, wonderful. And as Meg Ryan said, we all want what he's having. And we love the idea, and Aleta will relate to this, to the energy of the soul. So all of these things work together: healthy body, radiant beauty, and positive spirits. So on that note, we're going to move on to our international beauty guru and entrepreneur, Nancy Northrup. So Nancy, my first question to you is, many of the women in our audience today have transitioned from one career to another, sometimes in totally unrelated fields. So you transitioned from running a very successful orthopedic rehabilitation business to developing a medical facial device. So what made you take this step, and what did you learn?
Thanks, Anne, and thanks everybody for organizing this summit. I couldn't be happier than to be with all of you today. And Darrell, thank you for that instruction. Get Off Your Acid, your book changed my life. So I'm making the little check marks as you walk through that protocol. So thank you for the program. It's amazing. Getting back to Anne's question, I was involved in some research at the University of Pennsylvania Hospital with a very prominent dermatologist who was using iontophoresis in ways that were dermatologically oriented. And because of my relationship with him, I started thinking about other applications of basically physical therapy and chiropractic modalities that could be translated into non-invasive ways of anti-aging procedures for the face, with non-invasive procedures for the face. So we did a research study. We had a group of women over 40 stimulate only one side of their face. And at the end of 6 months, we did silicone replicas in the crow's feet area, as well as bilateral biopsies, so that the doctor could read them blind and understand what was going on at the level of the muscle and deep within the skin. And we discovered that what it does is it improves the tone and the contours of the face. It improves production of collagen. We were actually producing more collagen, and it diminishes fine lines and wrinkles. So with that, we got FDA approval, and I started, commercializing it. So that was basically my transition from the world of orthopedics and neurologic dysfunction into looking at ways of making women's desire to look and feel better, just transitioning my whole focus into the world of beauty and clinical beauty.
And that is a perfect example, not only of a very positive career transition, but the whole concept of marrying medical science with beauty. So we really appreciate hearing a little bit more about your story.
We'll be right back to the panel after this brief message from our sponsor.
Hi everyone, it's Karen Ballou, founder of Ecology, and I wanted to share with you how Ecology was born 7 years ago. Well, I actually had Hodgkin's lymphoma 12 years ago, and at that time I started to use French green clay on my skin. And it was renewing my skin, it was refreshing my skin, and I was amazed at how it was actually performing during my cancer treatments. But prior to that, I had actually gotten to know more about how it detoxes, and I got to learn more about how it's an anti-inflammatory as well. And after spending my whole career in the skincare industry, I realized there was something special about the French green clay. So 7 years ago, I decided that I was going to put together a brand, and it was immunology. And immunology means the study of the skin's immune system, or should I say, the skin's microbiome, which is the barrier. Because what happens to the barrier and what goes on the skin's barrier can affect the cellular layer. And so what the clay does is it actually helps to detox the skin, and it also will help to hydrate the skin, especially with the way that we have formulated the product. Because what we do with the patent technology, we take the clay, we cleanse it, we take out the hard minerals and leave in the 12 essential minerals. Those are the minerals that will actually make your skin feel better, look better, hydrated, exfoliated, even skin tone. And so we take that clay water, which is an ionic exchange, and we put it into every single one of our products. Once we do that, we then know that we have both the minerals and the vitamins in the products, so that the skin now benefits from the hydration of the water and the benefits of the vitamins that is going to nurture the skin. By doing this, I then realized that I would be able to have a refreshed and a renewed skin. I also wanted to make sure that I knew and understood how the skin could be protected with the clay. So I did a test on it. This is our clay water. It's actually our vital ionic mist. And then I knew that if we could take this and get it tested to find out if it would help with our free radicals, as well as any bacteria or viruses that would sit on the skin. And it does just that. It's not a cure, but it will protect the skin. Over that, you're going to put your night protection or day protection to also protect the skin, because every one of the products has the clay water, that ionic exchange in it. So it's going to protect the skin. And at least once or twice a week, you're going to want to do a reset to the skin with our clay mask. So use that. Go to immunology.com, find out all about it, and I'll look forward to seeing you. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us.
Now, you have another story. You have another transition story. So in addition to this transition in the business world, you are the mother of a Navy veteran. And you and I have that in common because we both are involved in veterans advocacy programs. But on your return to New York from Paris, you joined and you led a not-for-profit for helping women and this is female veterans, transition from the military into civilian life. So one of the issues that returning female veterans deal with is often that loss, not only the loss of identity, but also a loss of their sense of femininity. So how did you work with female veterans, and how did that influence your philosophy on beauty?
Well, it's really interesting how I gravitated toward this nonprofit experience is because when my son went into the military, went off to officer candidate school, he actually sent me some videos of women getting their hair cut, and what a humongous transition that is for a woman to go into the military. And actually, when you think of the word veteran, you don't necessarily associate it with a woman's face. So we actually were able to go on to a number of different Army bases and provide a 2-day workshop so that basically we could help the women understand what their skills were in the military and how they would translate into a civilian career. So we provided all kinds of coaching as well as financial advice, as just giving them the language to step into this new culture, essentially. And part of that transition was a complete makeover. So we had wardrobe consulting, we had hair and makeup done, and skincare lectures, and the transformation of those ladies within 48 hours was enormous. And so it was just basically proof of the pudding that when you feel good, you feel powerful, you feel empowered, you feel confident, and it was just such a wonderful experience to help them basically step out of the military into civilian life.
Yeah. And this really is a wonderful example of this concept of inner and outer beauty, and also the opportunity that all of us have to have some give back in our lives, which I think is an important part of creating the glow, which you really exemplify. So thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
So Nancy, In our audience today, we have women of all ages. This is the Three Tomatoes audience, but primarily those that are a certain age. So let's call that 40 plus. So what beauty regimen do you recommend for every woman, regardless of age? And we also maybe want to touch upon this idea of clean brands, which is
Yes.
a big buzzword today.
Exactly. Well, first of all, I just want to reiterate what Dr. Darrell has told us, and that is that beauty first starts from the inside out. So it's your diet, it's your exercise regime, it's your mental health, your mind-body connection, and then it's what you basically apply to yourself on the outside. So again, getting back to the clean beauty idea, many brands are gravitating toward reformulating their products to avoid harsh chemicals. You know, we've been putting acids, very harsh acids on our faces for years just because we thought that was the thing to do. But what we've been doing is really basically impeding the skin's barrier function. We're thinning out the skin barrier. So we want to be very careful about our ingredients, and there are resources available that you can actually go and find out what is in a product. And there is a group called the Environmental Working Group. You can go on their website. It's a nonprofit organization, and they basically are the good housekeeping of ingredients. So I would recommend that if you have any questions about a particular brand or product. And there are people like myself and other coaches around the world who can help you really identify what's right for you. But what's right for everybody is anti-inflammation and using products that are not going to inflame the skin or thin out the barrier function. That's very important. Hydration is another key to looking good, because your skin, basically your cells turn over every 28 days. If you're dehydrated, first of all, think about a raisin or a grape, you know, or a sponge. You know, a dry sponge is not going to absorb those wonderful ingredients that you've just purchased if you're not hydrated. So drinking lots of water, and also avoiding a lot of caffeine and other things that are going to dehydrate you, alcohol, etc. So anti-inflammation, hydration, stimulation. I highly recommend using electrical stimulation to build collagen, reduce wrinkles, and maintain that tone in the muscles that's so important as we age. And protection. UVB is bad, UVA is awful, and HEV is worse. That's that blue light that we're looking at all day long, more or less these days, now that we're quarantined or in lockdown. So be very cautious about protecting your skin using protective moisturizer, SPF. I've also invested in these blue blockers, which I wear all the time when I'm on my computer, except for today. But they really are going to protect your vision as well. So a basic regime would be a cleanser. I recommend a mask or a mild enzyme exfoliator once or twice a week to get rid of the dead skin cells. There are many very active serums on the market these days that actually are proven to be effective in terms of generating new collagen and also hydrating the skin. So I recommend looking for the best serum that fits your skin type. And obviously, electrical stim 2 or 3 times a week to keep that muscle tone. And protection. You should be wearing an SPF whether you're outside or inside, because we're exposed, as I just mentioned, to blue light from computers and phones and TVs and all the screens that we're so accustomed to engaging with practically 24/7. So that would be it. Pretty simple, but basically tailored to your own skin type and lifestyle habits.
So thank you, Nancy. And that really summarizes the idea that we all need to have a program that is customized to our own needs. And I just want to take a minute to also draw attention to our 2 sponsors, Ecology by Karen Ballou, and also Deborah Farkash of Living Well Inside and Out. I think both of their philosophies are very compatible with all that you have said. So again, thank you very much. And one last question. So they say that true beauty is timeless. So some names that come to mind, and we'll all have our own list. Mine is Isabella Rossellini, Helen Mirren, Diane Keaton, Meryl Streep. What do you think is the most important factor in ageless beauty?
I think that as we age, the more we learn from life and becoming a little wiser as the years go by, I think the basic thing is loving and accepting yourself for who you are, and knowing that life is not about perfection, it's about process and progress. So I think that self-acceptance and inner confidence is that energy that's going to keep you alive, positive, creative, connected, and all of those things that really make life worth living. So that and a healthy lifestyle like Dr. Darrell has laid out, I think are super important, and that mind-body connection are also very, very important to keep the glow as we age.
So that is a beautiful transition to our next and last speaker, Aleta St. James, intuitive life coach and Indiana Jones of the soul. I can't repeat that often enough. So Aleta, your journey is really a fascinating one, and it's involved many, many layers of transformation, including your travels around the world to study ancient wisdoms. So as the Indiana Jones of the soul, tell us a little bit about these journeys and how this relates to our lives in the 21st century.
Well, I started out in a show business career. I went to drama school in London. I had the lead in the Amsterdam production of Hair. And being an artist, you always study your mind-body connection because it's about breathing, it's about living, it's about being vital. And through the show business situation, there was always those times where you felt very high because you were working, money was in the bank, and people were really acknowledging you. And there were times that it flatlined when you weren't. So I said, I'm with myself longer than I'm on the stage or on a film or directing. So let me be happy with inside of myself and not just wait for the production. And so I went on a journey of self-discovery. And what I learned was bioenergetics, healing with light, primal therapy. And as I was doing these different modalities, all my friends that were actors and performers would come and say, what are you doing? What's going on with you, girl? And I'd say, all right, you want some? Yeah, all right. So then we'd start doing a session. Now, I was born intuitive, and usually when you're psychic, it comes in through the family. And my father was used in World War II behind the lines to find soldiers that were lost. So he was in the White Brotherhood. He was a merchant seaman. He traveled around the world. He came in and gave me all these stories about the jungles and about India and about all the things that he studied. So, of course, that piqued my attention as I was on my journey. And I believe in walking the talk because there's a lot of healers that are fabulous healers. And you know them yourself, Dr. Darrell and Nancy, but they don't help themselves. And I thought, that's not going to be my jam for this lifetime. I want to rise and thrive and be an example of energy transformation for the people that I'm working with. And then as I got into my 30s, the healing started taking over more, and people were asking me to go to Germany and England and here and that. And I thought, what's going on? What happened to the show business career? And it was, because Leta, you're supposed to be healing people in a different way. And so I still write and I still, perform and I still sing and I still do those things. But I thought, you know what? I can get instant gratification when I'm helping people feel good about themselves. And it's very easy to love yourself, feel good about yourself. But as you know, it's a full-time job of doing the proper nutrition, dealing with the beauty inside and out. You have to really be connected to that feeling within. And so the reason why I branched out and went to Peru, I was in Peru 20 years ago before it was very, very, celebrity driven. I was in the jungles of India with this doctor friend of mine who was in the Air Force. We did, because I was going to definitely get pregnant. People would say, are you nuts? You want to get pregnant? Why don't you just retire? I said, I'm never going to retire. When it's time for me to make my transition, I'm going to be working. You know, I'm going to be on a peak someplace, transcending myself. I'm not retiring, and I'm 72, and I have no idea about retiring at all, zero. So I'm in there, you know, studying with the shamans and learning about energy and connecting in with, you know, the cosmos. And in India, they have the fertility temples where you see hundreds of women with children all doing their devotion. And I went, whoa, you know what? Everything that I learned in the West, primal therapy, bioenergetics, healing with light, all the nutrition, I'm going to start to learn how to shift energy from these basic primal levels. And I learned it. And those were the modalities that I use to work with people that I can translate and see what's in their subconscious, which is the whole body is your subconscious. And those subconscious blocks and belief systems are stopping you from manifesting the life that you want. And you can't get in touch with them because they're hidden. It's like a computer. If something happened to you when you were young and it really hurt you and you felt like you were not good enough, those belief systems and imprints are in every cell of your body. Candace Pert, I don't know if you've read her. She was a client of mine. I was very blessed to work with her. And she was the one who said, molecules of emotion, it's not in your brain, it's in the cells of your body. And that's basically, Dr. Daryl and Nancy, what you're talking about. It's in your cells. And so the thing that regenerates me, now that I have twins, and I'm 72 and they're 15, and they're a wild ride. They were born in the year of the monkey. And so especially in the pandemic, well, it's like, they're home on their computers studying or supposedly studying. I don't get all the time to do the exercises and the breathing and the green juices. So I have to learn how to regenerate my energy. And what I talk about, and I learned in these travels, was that there's 4 bodies. There's a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And the physical and emotional are the densest. So you can have the most wonderful ideas about how you want to be, but like Dr. Daryl, you deal with it. Let's get those cells moving, you know? Let's get the toxicity out of the physical. Emotional is what a lot of what I do in terms of where do you hate yourself? Why do you hate yourself? Release it, clear it, and then shift up. Because you can say 25 affirmations, but if you don't believe it on the subconscious level, it does not work. It doesn't. If you don't get your food and your body to resonate to a high level of consciousness, you have a schizophrenic experience in your life. You can go and meditate for hours, which I've done, you know, but if you don't integrate it into your physical and your mental and your emotional, it doesn't give you that glow. So my clients, when they come into my studio, people go, you're working with Aleta St. James, right? They go, yeah, how'd you know? Because you've got that goddess glow. Because you have light. And when you have light that vibrates into the cells of the body because they're not toxic, because they're relating to something that's at a higher frequency, which is the electromagnetic work that you're doing, Nancy, and also every modality that you use. I can tell you use a lot of different things. All secrets of beauty. But the thing is, that's what you need. Everything in your body is electrical. And you want to be at the highest frequency possible to be able to emulate that sense of joy and light and exuberance about living. I help my clients and myself. What is your passion? I wake up every day and I do the thank you, thank you, thank you. And what am I grateful for? And then I go, what's my passion? And in this pandemic, people are going, whoa, down the tubes, right? Because we're used to being stimulated by all different kinds of things. And they can be on their high-flying disc 1 minute, and all of a sudden it feels like everything's coming down on them. And that's when I have them breathe and release. And I love that exercise that you were doing with the breathing, because if you really breathe and release, then you start to clear the energy and move up into consciousness where you can actually heal yourself in terms of how you see things. You're coming from your God conscious self, and that's the most amazing, fabulous feeling. And no matter how your day starts or what happens, you can get on your high-flying disc by breathing, releasing, moving up into your higher consciousness, and coming from instead of fear. Come from faith instead of, hopelessness and anxiety. That's their brain thinking worst possible outcome. Why am I anxious today? It's all going to fall apart. Why am I anxious today? How am I going to live? I'm not working. I didn't get the loan or whatever. You want to release that and go, okay, let's imagine what it's like to have money coming in, to create a new career. And you act as if you're in that situation. And all of a sudden, your body starts to vibrate to a higher frequency and you start manifesting. I want to tell you a story that's really amazing. Okay. My darling monkey children that are my miracle that I was going to have no matter hell come high water. People said to me, you can't do this. And I said, just watch me. Just watch me. And I did. Okay. So what happened is that I had a real difficult situation at school with my son, where somebody was not only bullying him, but also really threatening him. And it's a pandemic. Can you believe this? This is over texting. So it was really getting bad. And I had to get the police in and this and that, whatever. And then I realized, you know what? You have to change his school. And the detective said, are you out of your mind? In the pandemic, you're going to start changing your kid's school? And I said, just watch me. I'm changing my kid's school. All right, Aleta, sister of Curtis, I guess you could do that. I said, yeah. And do you know, in 2 days, I got the whole thing moving. Because I got out of my fear, like, this is impossible. I can't let my son deal with this. He's got to change schools. I went up into my higher frequency and I imagined everything starting to work. And then from that, I got messages of who I should contact from the years that I've, connected with people. And in 2 days, instead of 2 months, which they told me it would take, I started the wheels rolling. And that's the magic of being in your super powerful self.
So, Aleta, you have really helped us understand the concept of stepping out of our fears, the concepts of electric energy, moving into our higher frequencies, and also this whole idea of miracles. How a woman at age 57, because she says she's going to do it, has given birth to two twins, I believe they are, and they sound like they are really a handful. So you have really learned on the battlefield from ancient wisdoms to the 21st century. So I know as an energy healer and a life coach, you've helped a lot of people with major life shifts. And those life shifts fall into a lot of categories. They could be professional, career advancements, financial freedom, possibly even issues around retirement. And then on a more personal basis, this whole idea of romantic and personal relationships, agelessness, and even fertility issues. So I know you've touched on this, but what was your secret, or is there anything that you can share that allowed you to bring these two wonderful children into the world at age 57? That really is a miracle.
Well, believing is very important. You need to believe. And the same thing with aging. Like for me, it's winding up and not down. Once they said, well, you're going to be like 72 when they're 15. Can you imagine what that was going to be like? I'm 72 now. It's fine. It's okay. Because I don't believe that I'm going to degenerate. Now, is my body, I can't eat acidy foods. I have to make sure that I eat properly. I have to make sure that I use the right things on my face. And the electromagnetic stimulation is definitely on my, roster. But the fact of the matter is I don't believe that I am aging. So for me, in my head, I'm staying to 120, which I used to make a joke about, I'm going to live to 120. And then I got on a radio show and he said, oh yeah, I'm in that 120 club. And I said, you're kidding. He said, oh no, there's a whole group of us. And then I found out that they're projecting to 150. So you can, if you take, okay, I'm 72 or 90 or 100, and you go, think of it, I'm 120. So I have a whole scope of my belief system that has to start to move into that. And what I do with people, like if they want a relationship because they haven't had one or wanted to get married, or their career didn't take off the way they wanted it, we find out what the blocks are in the subconscious that says, no, I can't, or I'm not good enough, or you don't love yourself enough. I release it with the healing energy of light. Then I clear it and I help them move up and start to visualize the positive tracking that all the cells need to vibrate to and the brain vibrates to. Then if you get the health and the emotional well-being and the mental belief systems open to the higher frequency of the spiritual energy, you can shift anything. You can move into getting pregnant. You can move into having a relationship and getting married. On my website, you can see I've married a lot of celebrities, which some of them are on my website. But the thing is that I help them find a relationship, get through the barbed wire of certain things that happen in relationship and actually marry them, which has been really, really fun. But, you know, that's another piece. And so whatever you really want, it's all multidimensional. It's all the same thing. When Dr. Darrell, when people come to see you, it's not like, okay, now you're 32, now we have a special thing for you or whatever, or Nancy. No, it's all energy, as you said. And we integrate how we move the energy and how we shift it. And it's unique for each person. But once you get them on that high vibration, then all of a sudden the glow comes out. And you're rocking and rolling, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the common denominator with all of our speakers today is breaking that block to stepping forward, whether it's in our health regimen, whether it's in our skin regimen, or whether it's in the way we live our lives, stepping out of fear and really tapping onto
Love.
tapping onto love. Thank you. That's the word. So one last question, or maybe one next to the last question. So in your career, which has spanned many decades, and you've seen many shifts in our culture. So now obviously we're in the age of COVID. And I know in response to the pandemic that in its impact that it's had on your clients and your families, that you're scheduling virtual remote sessions. You do a broadcast every Sunday on YouTube. So tell us about, you know, briefly about the problems that your audience is bringing to the table and how we can connect with you.
Okay, well, I've been doing remote sessions because I have an international practice for a while, but now, since the pandemic, I'm doing the FaceTime. They're going under the lights that I've brought in from Peru, from John of God in Peru. I'm doing everything that normally they would have in a private session. Now, what I start at is that I do an intuitive reading, like a scan, and I'll go, okay, this is what I'm seeing in your right side, left side, in your chakra systems. These are the blocks. I can go back to the age that it happened, like what happened at about 7, such and such and such. It comes on to me like sort of like a hologram. What people say, how did you know that? You know, or is it, oh, are you thinking of doing such and such? And they go, how did you know that? Because it's in your energy field. It's in your energy field before it actually comes into your body. So I can tell this is where the block is, all right? And then we have a discussion. Then I take the phone, I put it under the lights, I hop onto the bed that I work on, and then I actually start to help that person breathe, get into the cells, and lift off, and then shift it to a higher energy. Now, I'm able to do this on the radio. I'm able to do it when, well, they used to make a joke. Let's see how fast you can heal it. I'd go in, I'd do a reading, I'd have 10 minutes, I'd pick one of the names, Sally Brown from, you know, Los Angeles. Okay, Sally, let's look at your chakras, blah, blah, blah. Shift it, and then give them a whole different belief system in between 10 and 15 minutes. So it's kind of exciting that I can actually get into really deep work in this pandemic, and people are changing their businesses. They're focusing more on what they really want in their life. So many of my, I'm right, you know, so many people say, you know what, why am I killing myself? Why am I working on Sunday? I don't need to. I need to relax. I need to connect with my family. I want to have more joy in my life. This is like a rat race that I really didn't need to be into. But then you have to help them shift from that. And what I say to them, be stronger after the pandemic. because we don't know. We can get another pandemic. This doesn't mean that, okay, in 3 months, all of a sudden it's all going to be woohoo. We don't know what's going to happen. But if you get to a healthy body, mind, and spirit, and you're living from that place, and you're vibrating up, then that's how you will be. The art of becoming who you want to be, your future self, happens when you get totally connected to the now. That's where you create the future, not from the traumas of the past. And that's basically, Dr. Darrell and Nancy, what you're talking about, rebooting, regenerating, giving that youthful energy, not the deterioration, but the regeneration and the rejuvenation. And that's what I can do in my private sessions. And then I'm doing more groups now with Zoom and things of that nature, which is exciting to me.
So that is beautifully stated, Aleta. And I think we, to sum up our meeting for today, I think we all believe in the power of love, the power of joy, the power of energy, and the possibility of being in the now and rejuvenating. So would you be able to end our session today with a short meditation? And again, before you do that, I want to thank our sponsors in the Ecology. I'm really trying hard to pronounce that correctly. Ecology, and Deborah Farkash at Living Well Inside and Out. And thank you all for being with us today. I know that you've touched us all in different ways, and it's a wonderful group of people who really believe in the concept of inner and outer glow. So thank you again.
You're welcome. Okay, so I have these 16th century Tibetan bells, along with the Buddha here, to give our energy into that kind of well-balanced feeling. And now what I'd like everyone to do is just close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in through your nose and out through your mouth. And feel that your breath is like the waves of an ocean, coming in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. And then I'd like you to imagine 6 inches above your head, there is a chakra. And the energy that's coming in from that chakra is gold light today. And gold is a color of transformation and rejuvenation and glow. And so as you're breathing in, feel that the rays of this golden sun are coming in through your crown chakra and through every cell of your body as you're breathing in and out. And surrender to giving the light space in your cells. And as you're exhaling, feel like you're exhaling any concerns, any stress, and just give yourself over to the light. And breathe. And feel that you're connecting your heart center, which is right in between your breasts, and your old brain in the back of your head, and into the new brain, which is at the front, your third eye. Because we want to connect these 3 points for a sense of well-being and gratitude. And breathe. And feel the connection. And now I'd like you to place your right hand on your heart center and just breathe in. And ask yourself, what do I really need to let go of today? What am I concerned about? Is there any sense of failure, frustration, hopelessness? And just feel what that feels like. And it's very, very important that you kind of connect into that child inside of yourself. your inner child. What you feeling today? Is it too much? Uncertainty? Not sure where you're going? It's okay. And just let yourself hear it and feel it. And surround it with the gold light and the breath. And hold it for the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release it into the field. And go back into the heart center. And feel those feelings wherever they are. Just acknowledge them, embrace them. Hold them for the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. And one more time, you can actually start to feel your heart open, moving into the old brain and then to the higher brain. Any kind of feeling that you're feeling. Concern for someone else, just hold it for the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. We've done clear, shift, and now I want you to recreate. So feel that there's a pearl at your tailbone, which is the first chakra, and as you breathe in through your mouth, you're breathing this pearl all the way up from the survival centers into the stomach, through the heart, into the higher centers, and to the top of the head where the pituitary is. And keep that energy going with the oxygen. And then exhale. And then one more time, the pearl goes up. Breathe it all the way up that channel, that internal channel that is you. Claim it, that is you. All the way through the survival centers, into the heart, the throat, the head, into the pituitary. Hold that energy for the count. And then release. And in that state, I want you to just imagine a peak experience as if it's already happening. It could be the birth of a child, it could be a wonderful vacation on the beach, something you created. Feel that good feeling. And then in that great feeling, in the 5th and 6th and 7th dimensions, feel that you're bringing in beings of light, guides, guardian angels, the God of your understanding, the universe, vibrating to the oneness that is you. And put that vision of what you want to create as if it's already happened into this quantum field. And feel the energy of that joy and success and fulfillment happening and coming into every cell of your body so that you begin to vibrate that well-being, that joy, that love of creation and manifestation and purpose. And feel that. And then I'd like everyone to open up your eyes because I'm going to do a healing transmission through my hand and through my eyes. And this was a prayer, the channel by Connie Newton, my teacher who is no longer with us. And if you could say after me, your body will be lit, as well as your soul, your light, and the glow. I am the light. The light is within me. The light moves throughout me. The light surrounds me. The light protects me. I am the light. And if you want to send it out to the universe for the healing of what's going on in the planet, let's move into we are the light. The light is within us. The light moves throughout us. The light surrounds us, and the light protects us. We are the light. And we bring that into the planet, and we bring that into our own personal healing, our family's healing, our friends, and the world. And feel that energy. And feel your heart opening up. and so be it.
Thank you, Aleta. Thank you, Dr. Gioffre. Thank you, Nancy. And we're sending peace and love to everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne.